champions last year, including our overall champions, Craig Thomas and Anna Walker. Speaking of our sponsors, let's take a look at Kaiser University, one of our sponsors for this year's national championship.
Hello, I'm Chris Walker, Director of Athletics at Kaiser University. We're proud of our Seahawks and all they've accomplished over the past few years. Since 2016, our 26 NAI varsity teams have captured 26 conference championships, 5 national championships, and boasted over 300 academic All-Americans. During the 2019-2020 season, our tennis, golf, lacrosse, swimming, women's soccer, and football teams all finished their season ranked in the top 10 in the final NAI standings. What we do is win, but it's not how we win that I'm most proud of. We understand that there are no part-time champions. To be a true champion, you must excel in competition, in the classroom, and in the community. We believe that success doesn't stop when you graduate, and the impact that our students have after graduation should be far greater than the one they have in school. At Kaiser University, we train champions that have the character to succeed in all that we do. That's why, for the past 7 years, we've been a champion of character institution. I look forward to seeing you at Kaiser University, and to check out our schedules and sporting events, go to KUSeahawks.com. Go Seahawks!
Go Seahawks!
All right, this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Gene Augustine, United States Marine Corps at Kaiser University.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. No Graham jokes this year. It's a lot, it really is. You know, I have a grandson now, he's 3 years old, and my wife said, hey, can you watch him for a second? He's going to color and we're going to go do this. You know, she buys him the 64 packs of crayons, a little sharper in the back. I had the 8-pack, going into 3rd grade. This guy's 3 years old, he's got the 64 pack. So I'm trying to teach him his colors. I'm like, what color is this? He's like, orange. I'm like, no, it's salmon. Sorry. So anyway, long story short, I get done playing with him. We color for about 5 seconds, and then we're wrestling on the ground. My wife comes in and is packing up all the crayons, and she's like, hey, there's like 3 crayons missing. And she's looking at me, and I'm like, I didn't touch the crayons, I didn't eat the crayons. But then the next day, I'm walking my black lab out in the neighborhood. Lo and behold, I got a glove. Hey, so let's talk about Kaiser University real quick. I'm really here talking about Kaiser University College Golf. Last year, the reigning state director from Florida, Antonio, he won the state director, and he also last year I was able to award him his Associate of Science in Golf Management degree. Big accomplishment. We've got great golf programs at Kaiser University. We have both online and in-person golf programs, associate's degree, bachelor's degree in golf management for those that want to go work in the pro shop side. We have a great turf grass program now for those that want to go and work in the superintendent side. And then we also have a master's degree program in golf coaching and teaching. Excellent program, amazing instructors, and even if you don't come to Kaiser University, but you have GI Bill benefits, and I'm not just talking to the folks in this room, I'm talking to the folks that are, LinkedIn, watching this online, use your GI Bill benefits. They are a hugely valuable resource. Figure out a program that you'd like to invest some time in and go to it. The Kaiser athletes that we saw up there, they're into that competition, right? Just like you all are this week. There's 38,000 VGA golfers now. There's 106 here this week competing to be the champions. I'm not going to do the math. I don't know if there's over there looking at me laughing like, don't do the math. No, you don't do that. I'm not going to do the math, but it's a great percentage. And for them, right, they're competing in the NAIA conference. It's not one of the big conferences in the country. But to them, that competition is everything, right? Just like this competition this week, you saw Jim Furyk winning the U.S. Open this week, or at this course in 2003, 22 years ago. For a lot of you, this is your U.S. Open. You know, this is it, man. You worked hard to get here. Small percentage of you made it to this point, and you go out there and compete. You know, enjoy it, embrace it. You know, warriors compete. You know, those that are not warriors shy away from the competition. You all are warriors by the testament of being here. So go out, compete, and then we'll see you on Wednesday night. We'll see who went there the deepest. Thank you.
All right, this time it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Lieutenant General Mike Farrier, our 2025 Grand Marshal.
So I asked Josh, what should I talk about? And he said, well, that's easy. Talk about 2 minutes. I'm so proud of all of you. I'm so proud of Josh and Rachel and Joe. I mentioned briefly, what do you do with an idea? What do you do with a vision? What do you do with a wish? And you cultivate it, and you nurture it, and you defend it. Most of the time when you have a vision, someone's trying to cut it down, someone's trying to eliminate it, someone's telling you can't do that. What are you talking about? You can't do that. So you want to bring on 38,000 people. How are you going to do that? It's impossible. The math will never work. When you have a vision, if you go from visionary, imaginative, and creative to audio, digital, math, you're a loser, and it won't work. You have to believe in hope and caring about people and connecting those who are going to be helpful. And so this evening really represents, 10 years. While many of you were sleeping last night, Josh was worried. He was worried about the opening ceremony. He was worried about how this was going to pull off. He's worried about next year. And because of what he does and what his team around him does, it happens. And the idea of offering and rejecting rejection and then counter-offering because you believe in what you're doing is the right thing, that's who you guys are. You have passed every basic course, every officer course, every EOD, jump school, Ranger school, Navy SEAL school, CCT school, whatever. And 99% of America couldn't do that. And so now you're on a journey that says, well, what's next? And usually, guys and girls like us, the what's next is you hold a platoon formation in front of your house and all the kids in the neighborhood have to fall in. And you talk to them about picking up trash and saying yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no sir. But you're making a huge difference in the community. And then you're like that. I got a golden retriever I was telling Coach Meyer, and he can smell golf balls. That's true. He can smell golf balls. So we walk to the Walton Country Club. I have 600 golf balls in my closet now. And it says a lot about my dog, but also a lot about the golf cabin. But like Labrador, like the Golden Retriever, when it's so intensive, they go after it. They can, and you can throw it for hours, and they'll go after it. They cannot help themselves, nor can you, because you decided to join our service at some point. You decided to say yes, and then you decided not to be a slug. You decided not to be a loser. You decided to be the one that made a difference. And often I'll tell people, there's a lot of techies who think, oh, we need transformation, we need AI. You know, the biggest transformation that occurs, whether it be at a college football field or whether it be in the military, is the transformation of an 18-year-old to the 22-year-old, who, before you know it, is the private who becomes the sergeant or the petty officer, who now inculcates and teaches the values of the organization, the discipline required to succeed, and the strength to know that even when it's hard, I mean, if you saw me play golf today, you would have seen a lot of hard moments. And then you got to keep going. So tonight is a celebration of 10 years. Every organization that is a startup, 50% fail within a year, within 2 years or 3 years. So to be standing here in year 10 and then thinking 500, 1,400, 10,000, 38,000, and knowing that simply by the veteran and the veteran family word of mouth marketing, that you'll be 100,000. And the so what of that is, well, what are we going to unite to accomplish? When I was probably 2012, I became very concerned that by 2020, people would kind of get their WWF, I got my shit belt, right? I'm a champion, I got my shit. And forget about the Gold Star families. And forget about our great wounded warriors and their families. And forget about our lost ones. And what Josh and what you represent, first of all, is this whole idea that we won't forget, you know? And tonight, in about 2 hours, we'll text somebody and say, hey, buddy, check, General Ferrer said I had to do that. And someone in this room will save somebody's life. And so, as we go forward, you know, my guidance never changes. You must swing as hard as you can. Every single time. If you close your eyes and swing, it's a better experience. But I just want to thank you all for being here. You're brave to be here. You're courageous to be here. You put yourself out because it's way easier not to put yourself out and just be complacent. And it's way harder to put yourself out with a chance of not being fully successful. When you think, probably that is a rough thing, but when you think as a person and as a leader that nobody is watching you, they are staring. And you are the best of the veteran golfers right now. And everyone who sent you here, they're staring and they're hoping. And they're supporting and they're believing in you. So as we go into it tomorrow, don't try to be the best. Try to be your best. That's not be good enough, right? Don't try to do it right. Do what's right. And be the best in the world at understanding the moment. Reject the rejection of a not perfect shot. And then believe again in yourself that the next shot is going to come. So God bless you, Rangers, lead the way, and I look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
So I just found out this morning, Lieutenant General Farragher's son, Dan, and I served together in the 2505 Parachute Infantry Regiment. And Dan just retired with 20 years in military service. And let's give Dan a big round of applause. chance to talk with General Farrier, just take a couple of moments and shake his hand and understand that almost every single offspring of the Farrier family have been patriots and have served and sacrificed for our country. So, sir, thank you so much. So this time I'm going to, it's my pleasure to introduce the musical guest for this evening, someone who has supported this organization since our first year in 2015 in Pinehurst, North Carolina. It's my pleasure to welcome Rob West. As Rob is coming up, if we could, in an orderly fashion, we're going to start eating. So we're going to start with the 3 tables to the far left and go ahead and stand up and get into line. And once they sit down, if you got to line, you know, keep that trajectory going.
See influence generations, even feeds rivals. It can demand unlimited respect and inspire unconditional love until ultimately your name can become powerful and great. And once it's in the room, it will never be forgotten.
It's my distinct honor to introduce three-time national champion and VGA advisory board member, Coach Urban Meyer.
Well, thank you very much. I know there's a couple of Wolverines, one sitting at our table. So I promise I'll speak slower so you can understand. Too soon for that? You know, I'm invited to a lot of banquets every year, and I'm going to tell you this. This and our Forces Cup are two of my favorite things I get to do, and I want to tell you, Josh, Joe, the VGA, you guys put it on like no other banquets I've ever been to, so Joe, you're the chef. You know, in 2008, I'm such a golf guy. In 2008, I was in Florida, and the head coach of Florida, we played Oklahoma in the national championship. It was Chip Tebow. Hang in there, brother. It's coming. So Tebow against Sam Bradford, one of the greatest games in college football history. In 08, down in Miami. I think it was Hard Rock, in the stadium, and we win the game. It's one of the greatest games of all time, and the Gators won the game. And we come in the locker room afterwards, everybody's dancing and celebrating and playing that awful music, and it was great. And so all of a sudden, the guy comes up, our media guy comes up and says, "Hey, President Obama's going to call you in 5 minutes on your phone." I agree. So I'm holding my phone, we're dancing, we're throwing arm all over each other. And all of a sudden, I see my phone buzzing, and I can tell this is some number I've never seen before. And I said, turn it down. I slide it, and I say, "Hello." And he said, "Coach Meyer, this is President Barack Obama. Congratulations to you and the Florida Gators." I'm playing it on the speakerphone, and the players are cheering. And I said, "Thank you very much." And he said, "I want to invite you and the Florida Gators to the White House." And everybody's cheering. I said, "Well, thank you very much. We're so honored we'll be there. This is one of the great moments. Thank you so much, Mr. President." when we hang up, everybody's cheering. I go back in my locker, and I'm exhausted. We just won this thing. I put my phone down, and I'm sitting there, holy shit, we just won the national title. And then my phone started buzzing. It's Fred Ridley. Fred Ridley's a chairman of Augusta National. He's also a two-time All-American golfer in Florida, and I know him fairly well. And so I buzzed that one, opened up, and he's had a few cocktails. And he starts screaming in the phone. He goes, we did it. You know, we won the national championship. And I was, yeah, Fred, we did it. And he said, I got great news for you, Coach. You're coming as my guest to Augusta National, and we're staying in a Butler cabin. I'm such a golf freak, I almost pass out. I stand there like wobbling, like, my God, I'm going to Augusta National and stay in a Butler cabin. And right then, the media guy comes back into me and says, like, Coach, it's time to go to the press conference. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to Augusta National. I forgot about the game. So we're walking through the tunnel of the stadium. I'm thinking, Green Jacket, Augusta National, Jack Nicklaus. So I walk in this big little room like this. There's like 500 media people sitting there, and I sit down at the table, and people start asking questions about the game, and they're talking about the game. And then the guy over to my right said, hey, Coach, we heard. Tell us about the amazing phone call you got in the locker room a few minutes ago. I said, guys, you won't believe this. Fred Ridley called me, and I'm going to Augusta National. And the whole room got quiet. And they're like, wait a minute, Coach, didn't President Obama just call you? And I'm like, just like this. I go, oh, yeah, he did. He did, but I'm going to Augusta National. Everybody in this room understands White House or Augusta. I'm going to be quick tonight because we've got a lot going on, and there's no place I'd rather be. For 4 years, I lived in a world where people are called heroes. And this is from the bottom of my heart. I grew up in a military family. I love the VGA. It's become part of my life. And for 4 years, I saw and I witnessed that people were treated like heroes because they were, God gave them incredible strength and height and skill sets that most humans don't have. It's called these pro athletes, great athletes. And I've been around that, and I would watch, and I'd be confused because I grew up, my father was Army Armor Division, my sister was Air Force, and I would watch this, and I actually couldn't stand it. I never saw the equation between a gifted athlete and the world I grew up in and idolizing the men and women who serve our incredible country. And so I'm here to tell you, I speak on behalf. I say this every time I get to speak at VGA event. You need to hear this. I speak on behalf of millions and millions of people to tell you we love you, we appreciate you, and your service to our country. So God bless you, and thank you very much for everything you've done. Also growing up in that family, my father was a competitive nut job was like his son. Now shit gets real tomorrow, your scores count. And he also taught me, as long as you keep your scores, son, you better win. So I can't wait to watch you compete tomorrow in the national championship. And like I said a minute ago, there's no place I'd rather be than hang out with the men and women who serve their country. God bless you. Have a great night. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause for Coach Urban Meyer. All right, over the past few years, it's been an honor for the VGA to partner with the VFW. Let's take a look at what the VFW has been doing for our veteran community since 1899.
What does a life after service look like? Kicking back, taking it easy,
amazing to meet today's veterans where they are, lifting the bond and strengthening the bond that unites us. It looks like rolling up our sleeves, serving those in need, and cleaning up our communities to make them better for everyone. Because veterans' mission never truly ends, and neither does ours. The VFW, still leading, still advancing, still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
It's my honor to introduce Corey Geisler, the Senior Vice Commander-in-Chief of the VFW.
Alright, so I gotta take this thing off, really, to move around a little bit, but I can't believe it, I gotta follow Coach Myers. Of all the people I have to follow, I gotta follow Coach Myers. So, thank you for being here today. It's an honor to be here today. You know, you think about the veterans of foreign wars. You know, the typical image is an older person standing up here, probably in their 70s or 80s. You know, and you're wondering, why should I be a part of that? Well, guess what? After 126 years, the image of this organization is changing. We have our first female Commander-in-Chief, Carol Whitmore from Iowa. Next year, if elected in Reno, I will become the Commander-in-Chief. And I'll be the very first one who joined the military after 9/11. And I'm also the one who gets a little crazy, and I'm like, Tough Mudder? Hell yeah. Spartan races? Hell yeah. Oh, Ultra Marathon? Sign me up. We don't have too many Commander-in-Chiefs who are able, unless they're on a scooter, to go out and do an Ultra Marathon. So I'm going to set the bar just a little bit higher. But when you think about what's the mission of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and what's the mission of all the other veteran service organizations that are out there, as well as what's the mission of the VGA? So our mission is to help veterans and their families. That is our primary mission. So all the veteran service organizations, we operate a little bit individually. Hate to say it, but I wish we'd operate a little bit more together. The VFW, American Legion, DAV, Iraq, Afghanistan Veterans Association, all the other ones that are out there. I wish we operated a little bit more together because we really have one mission. And when I see what the mission of the VGA is, every veteran that's out there, we have our own way of dealing with stress. We have our own way of trying to get through the things that we may have seen in combat. And I've spoken to more than one person who said, golf helped me. It helped me get through that mindset. It helped me get through those bad days. Just getting out on the course, swinging the clubs. No different than me. I love to run. For me, being out on those trails by myself, one foot in front of the other, that is my time to think. That is my time to get through that particular moment in life that, you know what, I just got to get through the barrier. So the mission is the same. And that is why I'm glad I'm here, because we need to be doing more with the VGA. And I'm looking forward to this partnership strengthening is what I want to see. And for all of you in here who are veterans, first off, thank you for your service. You represent less than 1% of the population that raised your right hand and took the oath to defend this country. So, if you're not involved in any of the veteran service organizations, I challenge you, get involved. somehow, some way. It's not just going to a host meeting once a month and sitting there, talking about, gosh, what's the price of beer going to be this month at the club. That's not what it's about. It's about getting out in our communities. It's about getting in front of the public and letting them know what we do. Everything with youth activities, everything with our fellow veterans, how we take care of them. So this is the mission that we all have together, and I challenge anyone here who's not a part of a veteran service organization, join. Get involved in some way, whether it's getting out in the community, whether it's attending the meetings. You know what? Whether it's just being on the rolls for right now, so that way when you come to the future and you want to get involved, you can be there. But get involved some way. Don't just sit back. Did I tell you what will happen? You can see it right now. Stuff that's come out in the Washington Post and Stars and Stripes. Your average civilian population thinks that veterans benefits are overrated. And I can tell you for 100% fact, they are not overrated. Every veteran has earned it. You signed your name on that contract, you earned it. So for them to say they can take it away at any point in time is wrong. And we need to make sure that our voices are heard. We are a very small community in this country. No one's going to look out for us but us. So get involved and get out there and let's make things happen. Thank you.
All right, yesterday was an honor to welcome the largest field in VGA history to the city of Chicago. Let's take a quick look at our registration. All right, this Saturday we had an incredible opportunity when the University of Illinois hosted Ohio State University down in Champaign. And, it was kind of interesting because at the same time, Coach was hosting the big new kickoff down there, and, the University of Illinois reached out to us. They wanted to honor our champions out on the field. And what really that tells me is that there's, just like what General Ferrer said, there's people watching. There's people watching what we're doing. They're recognizing what we're doing. And I couldn't think of a better way, for our champions to get recognized except during the Ohio State Illinois game, right before our championship. So let's give a big round of applause to our champions. All right, before I bring this guy up here, all of you, this is going to go into a little more casual mode, all right? Every single one of you had a chance to experience the North Course at Olympia Fields today. So let's give a big round of applause if you enjoyed your experience this morning. And what an honor it is for us to get to experience that. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the chairman of our board, Bob Peel, a member of Olympia Fields, who has organized and orchestrated all of this to to take place. So Bob, if you don't mind standing, let's give Bob a big round of applause. You know, we talked about a little bit earlier, the Olympia Fields is the host side of the BMW Championships. We were talking about how John Rahm sank a 76-foot putt to win his playoff in a BMW Championship a few years ago. And then we talked about Bryson DeChambeau, who won the U.S. Open, the U.S. Am in 2015. And I couldn't be prouder to introduce our next guest, Doug Farrell, the director of golf from Olympia Fields. Doug, if you don't mind coming up. This morning, the things that you guys have done behind the scenes for us, Doug, they're unbelievable. But I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you and Adam and Fernando have done to bring us to Chicago. So thank you. So you're going to get a chance. I'm going to pull this off, and Doug, you can walk around. But this is your chance. This is your opportunity to talk about what you experienced today and the questions that you want to ask going into tomorrow, the first round of our championship.
Thanks, Josh. First of all, welcome to all of you that are not from the Chicagoland area. This is a wonderful pleasure to have all of you here, have you at Olympia Fields Country Club. I'm so glad I didn't have to follow coach, so thanks to the BMW. But it has been 2,150 days since you beat Michigan, so let's go. It's an absolute pleasure. My grandfather was in the Navy, and one of his decided to say, I'm not going into the Navy, I'm going to be an Army Ranger. So for me to host this type of an event means the world to me. So I have one of the coolest jobs in the world. I get to go to the golf course every day. And it's not just any golf course. It's Olympia Fields Country Club. And I get to do that because of the sacrifices that you and so many others around this country have done for us. So from the bottom of my heart, as Coach Meyer said, thank you so much. I was able to bring my 10-year-old son to watch the opening ceremonies tonight, or this morning. And as the last parachuter hit the ground, he looked up at me. He goes, Dad, that was fucking cool. He goes, thank you so much for bringing me to work today. This is awesome. And I said, don't thank me. Thank all of these people. Because they're the ones that get to do this and make this happen. And to all of you at the VGA, thank you so much for all you do for this great event. So I've been very blessed to be the director of golf for the past 5 years now at Olympia Fields Country Club, and it's the only professional job I've ever had. It is literally the coolest place on earth to me. And for the next 2 days, you get to experience it as you did today. And one of the cool things about Olympia Fields is that it is a family. And so as part of this group, and competing for this championship, you are now part of this family. So welcome to our family. Thank you so much for being here. And please, if you need anything over the next 2 days, ask myself, Adam. You'll never find Fernando. If you need anything, please ask any member of our staff. We are here to help you. And play well. Good luck. It's going to be an awesome week. That golf course is really long, as you experienced. It's really hard. And I encourage you to keep it out of the rough, out of the bump, and below the hole. So I'll open it up if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. I'll be around for a little while. But thank you so much for bringing this championship to us.
So before I let Doug go down the steps, speak now or forever hold your peace. Raise your hand if you have any questions for Doug. We're gonna bring on to specific questions as it relates to the courts at Olympia Fields.
We talked about spectators being on the cart path, but there are no cart paths along the field.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So we will not have spectator carts, but the spectators are more than welcome to be out there. We're just asking to stay out of the line of play. Rough. Those are our cart paths. So kind of 50 feet off of the playing surfaces and things like that. And we encourage all spectators to come out and watch all of you compete for this wonderful championship. So.
Kathy. No cards are available for spectators tomorrow or the next 2 days. I just got thrown under the bus. Yeah, I think you all witnessed that. No spectator cards for the next 2 days.
No, feel free to ask away. I mean, we've had, like I said, I have one of the coolest jobs in the world. I've had the privilege of hosting major championships, BMWs. I've had the privilege of walking champions down to the 18th green, and it's been a privilege of mine. So ask away. Oh, this is going to be tough. Yeah, so wind predominantly comes out of the south, so from the clubhouse towards the golf course, for those of you that are directionally challenged. But as far as everything breaks towards the creeks, right? So the creeks on the golf course runs through the entire property, everything breaks towards the creeks. Predominantly the entire golf course, all of the greens except for number 17, right from back to front. So number 17 is the only green that runs from front to back. We don't send greens. They were a championship seed. That's a full answer. You will never know.
Question, go ahead. So, scorecard handicap aside, what do you think is the hardest hole on the course, and what is the best advice you have for that specific hole?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a great question. I think the hardest hole on the golf course is probably 15. Just for me, who cuts it, playing it up that left side and trying to get it to stay in the fairway before it bounces over there where Tiger Woods hit that amazing 3-wood. I would say 15 is probably the hardest hole. 15 and 8. 8 is the shortest par 4 on the golf course. The longest par 3 on the golf course. But I would say 15 and 8 are the two hardest holes for amateurs and as well. I mean, as far as playing 15 strategically, it is a 3-shot hole. Trying to go for that green 2 is you're trying to push your way up there. You're just gonna get in trouble pushing right over there. So.
Any other questions?
Go ahead.
So the lockers that we're using, like lockers with members' names on there, did they volunteer that, or were they voluntold?
They were voluntold. No, but the cool thing about that clubhouse is 110,000 square feet. And up until they rebuilt Congressional Country Club, it was the largest. We were the world's largest private country club at one time. There was originally 4 golf courses at Olympia Fields. So that's why every single one of those alleys, you can see we're starting to add lockers now to it. There were lockers in between all of the sets of lockers. So I think we have 790 lockers. The men's locker room is over an acre. There are 3 levels. You don't even know. There's 26 hotel rooms. And there's an entire basement under the entire property. So, pretty neat place.
Any other questions?
And those are the original lockers that were in the locker room.
Absolutely. And the question was, in placements going to change. Now it's a question like this morning during the putting contest was where do we aim our putts? The pin placements are completely changed. Can we give a big round of applause to Doug and Adam? So I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put you on the spot, but what we do have to present to the club is a original oil painting from Cassie Tully. Now, a lot of you guys got one of those paintings when you came through registration, but what you probably didn't realize is the details, because when you look at the clock hands are 9:11. All right? So there's that piece. The second piece is I hope you find a place to pair this, because my buddy Heath Trigg from Heritage Flag Company has made you a custom American flag out of bourbon barrels. And so every single one of these flags are different. And I hope that you find a good place for that in the club. Big round of applause for Doug. All right. Now, if you raise your hand again if you've been to a championship before. All right. We were really excited. I think Joan told me, I think there were 80% new participants this year. And so that means that you've never heard Andy Strumper before. So at the same time, Bahia, is it right? At the same time, you probably never heard of Josh Burbacher before. So I'd like to call them up to the stage, and they will be your official rules. They will be your rules officials this week, and you have any issues, you ask them. Andy.
All right. Hi. All right, opening question. Who finished the sandwich? How? Look at me. Look at you. I got your hat. Man. Good on you. Sorry for the mom. This is going to be a quick one because this is probably the nicest course as far as like markings and availability, as far as like your rules and all that stuff go. So, a couple of VGA rules. Slope. That was the question that was brought up today. You are allowed to use slope on your rangefinders. Okay? That's a 2026 rule change and it's taking into effect for this event. So you can use the slope on your rangefinders. You're welcome. Just say thank you. Some of you may have noticed after.
We have the wind option on mine. Can I use that as well?
You can use the slope option.
No.
We'll go with no. All right, on the cart pass, anybody hit from the rocks that are part of the cart pass today? No? Okay, those are part of the cart pass. So if you are on those rocks, those decorative rocks, you're allowed to move just like you're on the cart path. Out of bounds, there's a fence. That is what marks the out of bounds of the golf course. It's the fence. Okay? Just the fence. So if you're up against that fence, you do not get relief. You can take your unplayed lie if you want to. You can try to hit it off the fence and back into play. Just don't move the fence. Please do not move the fence. Okay? Spectator carts, that was next on my list. Already covered. No.
My fault.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you. All right, ground under repair. There's only one spot that we were to mark. It was on hole number 7 on the right side of the bunkers. It is marked with white circles, pentagalisms, pentagrams. What other words can I make up? Bahia. It's never going to be a perfect circle. Whatever weird shape was drawn, remove from that area. Do not hit out of that area. Ground under repair, if it's white, if it's connected, odd shaped, whatever, amoeba, is that a good word?
Yes.
If it's an amoeba, pull it out of there. Okay? Parabola. I said that in one of my words, but I added an extra stuff to it. All right, pace of play is a big issue. We don't play fast. Please play fast. Good with that? Everyone understands that concept? Some of you are walking, walk faster. Okay? I don't run, as you can see, so I'm not going to ask you to run. Just move your legs faster. All right? Good? Everyone's still awake. I love this. Last year got off to a bad start. We got them back. All right. So now, this course, as some of you have seen, one hole goes this way, the other hole comes this way. A lot of you hit trees today. I played. I heard you. Okay? No one yelled for. Okay? A lot of you hit the ball that wasn't yours. A lot of you picked up a ball that wasn't yours and took it home with you because it was better than the ball you were playing. Tomorrow and Wednesday, do not do that. Okay? You are allowed to pick up your golf ball in play to identify it. In order to do that, you're going to stick a tee in the ground right next to the ball. You're going to grab 2 fingers or thumb and a finger, however you pick stuff up. You're going to lift it. If you can web it, I'll watch it. All right? You pick it up. If it's covered in mud, you can wipe off an area, clean an area of that ball in order to identify it. If it's not yours, put it back down. Walk away. Go find yours. Okay? Who plays the Titleist with red and blue stripes on it here? A few of you. Who plays a Callaway with red and blue stripes in this room? A few of you. Callaway and Titleist are spelled differently. Okay? You good? All right. That was aimed at the Army. Separate file. All right. Last but not least, your cards have sand on them. A lot of your cards came back with sand on them today. Use the sand in your cards. Come back empty. And then right at the first tee, there's this little blue thing. It's got a stick at the end of it. It's got a place for your thumb. Grab one. Those fix ball marks in the greens. Okay? If you make a ball mark, fix a ball mark. Who doesn't know what a ball mark is? D-flight, where you at? All right. A-flight, fix your ball marks. Some of you that accidentally make them, fix your ball marks. In the fairways, fix your divots. Take the sand, pour it in a hole, make it flat, walk away. Good to go with that? Now's your portion. That's all I got. What do you see today that you need to know?
Any questions?
What is Bahia?
You'll see next year. Maybe the year after that. Maybe again in 2 years. You'll have to wait.
Any other questions? On the back side of the green, there's boards with signage on it, Black Rifle Coffee, Washington.
Immovable obstruction.
Yeah, so everybody lateral.
Lateral, however, if you're past it and it's in your way, move kind of sideways, just kind of get it out of your way. Yeah.
Or hit the green instead.
Yeah.
Hit the green.
The green works. Rank your bunkers as well.
Any other questions?
I got one.
Oh, Jesus.
Hold on, I have a note. Let me pull up my notes from last year. Does anyone else have questions other than Eddie? All right, what do you got?
Shut up. Okay, the Parkway Golf Course, and I'm not going to name any names. Raymond, Kevin, freaking Michael, you guys freaking all. But anyways, because we have such a close fairways, who do you think should have etiquette? First, goes first. If someone's on an opposing tee box and you're trying like, oh, should I get in the fairway and hit my approach shot? That's happened several times. And people just stand there.
Whoever's on that hole has the right of way. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, so if you hit the ball fairway right, wait till everybody tees off, then if you can get over there and hit before they get down there, you can do that. Or if they're already on their way down there, let them go and then you go. I mean, you can talk to them too, like one of them hits and then you hit, don't wait for all four of them because it's going to cause a huge backup at that point.
That's going to happen out there all day.
Yes, hit the or, as my friend Travis Bryant would say, stay in your fairway and hit the green. And golf's a lot easier. All right, any other last questions?
All right, hold on 1 second. We haven't heard from Josh Burbacher. All right, there's 2 rules officials, so I'm going to let Josh introduce himself really fast. But
most of you guys, well, a handful of you guys may know me. I was a live director over the weekend.
How will you get a hold of Andy?
I will give you his phone number here shortly, and don't contact me, just contact him.
I know you don't want to call.
Now, really, I do appreciate you guys. Any questions, you can find a way to contact us. I'm sure you'll have our phone numbers. Really just want to say appreciate you guys. I see a couple hands back there.
So ball in play in the rough, somebody in the Air Force picked it up and took it home. What do? Can't find the ball, you go back to the tee, or all the group that's in that area.
If you can't find your ball, it's a lost ball.
Back to the tee.
No, lost ball. So in the VGA, lost ball plays as you play from where you believe. You talk to your playing partners, find out where you believe that ball would have been, and then you would drop in that area with a 1-stroke.
So we call that run to the green. You're going to have some good things and bad things happen on the golf course. So. And you appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for the reminder.
We have a couple more questions. Kevin.
Andy, hole 9. Talk about the tees on hole 9.
All right, hole 9, Andy.
Hole 9. All right, for the women, the red tees play as a par 5 on hole 9. For the men, the green tees play, every other tee box plays as a par 4. So we do have a male playing from the red tees, and those are actually behind the green tees, but for tomorrow and for Wednesday, the greens, whites, and reds will all be in the same spot.
No.
Who would that?
That's all right.
That was correct, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So, for the males playing the red tees forward, it will be a par 4. For the females playing the red tees, it will be a par 5. So par will stay the same for men and women.
All right, I'm going to add something quickly too, because last year I believe we had a 5 or 6 hole sudden death playoff, which was awesome, by the way. If we do have a sudden death playoff, it will be on hole 18 continuously until we crown the champion. All right? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
For when we get done on Wednesday, what do we all do when we're done, when we finish?
Yeah. So I would say, like, first and foremost, we talked about this morning, we got Fox Sports that's out there, okay? So what we will do for the male A flight, veteran A flight, female veteran A flight, and combat wounded A flight that are in contention, we will hold you guys back, all right, on the first tee box. There will be about an hour gap. Correct, Danny? About an hour gap. Our expectation is that when you finish, all other flights finish, that you congregate on hole 18. So when those flights come in on 18, we have a gallery for them. And so, we're trying to figure this out because over the years, it's been the point of a lot of controversy, making players stop and go whenever they're warm and ready to go. But at the end of the day, I want you to hear this from me. We're not trying to we're not trying to impact your competitive advantage at that moment. What we're trying to do is capture your moment, okay? And that's what we've tried to do for the last 10 years. If we ever get to a point where, you know, we've got live coverage of our event, it won't be an issue, okay? But we are really just trying to capture that moment for you. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'll take the hit on it, but it doesn't matter because we are doing all of this for all of you, okay? So I want you to understand that's why we're doing it. We're not trying to hurt you. We want this to be the best experience of your lives, okay? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm going to go over provisional. I think VGA goes out. No provisional.
You should never have to play a provisional ball in the VGA. So, out of bounds, red and yellow penalty areas, you're not allowed to hit provisional. And with our lost ball rule, you should be able to drop in that area. So you should never really have to hit a provisional ball in the VGA. Any other questions? Behind holes 9 and 18 is out of bounds as well. The parking lot's out of bounds. The curb is your out of bounds marker there. So if you do happen to go over 9 and 18 and you're in the parking lot over the curb, you will be out of bounds there as well.
The last thing I'll say, and I don't know if you guys are tracking this or not, this is the one tournament of the year for the VGA where the male veteran A flight and the female veteran A flight does not have a bogey max clause, a double par clause, okay? So you got to play it all the way through into the hole. Any questions about that?
All right, the last call on the way. All right, A flight, B flight. If you want to grab your phones, I will be your rules official. A flight, B flight.
All right, this is also the first year that we're allowing caddies. All right, so I think there's a little bit of confusion on what caddies can and cannot do. Whatever the caddy can do in the PGA Tour, they can do for you for this tournament. Does that make sense? All right. So they can tell you where to putt the ball. They can give you as much advice as needed. Okay. Are there any questions on that? All right.
All right. You are disqualified. All right, and Josh.
Repeat your phone number. And Joan, if you don't mind, just go ahead and shoot that out to the players so they have that tomorrow morning. Let's give a big round of applause to Josh, Andy, appreciate you guys being here and all you do. Phone number, Josh. Big round of applause for our officials. All right, so before we leave tonight, I want to bring up a guy that's often behind the scenes. He's been my best friend for the last 15 years. He's been right by my side since the beginning of the VGA. The VGA co-founder and Army Ranger, Captain Joe Cayley.
Thank you so much. Wow. It's been quite the journey. Me and General Bear were talking earlier about our very first championship at Pairings. It was very rainy during those times, and remember unloading 82 golf bags that Josh had ordered overseas. And I was worried that we were going to have 82 players actually show up because, you know, in like China, they don't give refunds. So it was very relieving, even yesterday, watching 160 of you line up outside to come through registration. Thank you to all the sponsors that provide wonderful apparel, golf paraphernalia, and have been supportive of the VGA from day one. Now, Josh and I met, and some of y'all may have heard this story. He and I were selected to compete on the World Ryder Cup team many years ago. And of course, we hit it off with both Rangers, both infantry officers, and we went over to roll with them, St. Anne's. I got my points. I got mine. But our team got slapped. I mean, it was embarrassing. And if you know anything about Rangers, man, we hate to lose. We hate to lose so bad. Josh and I were sitting there running Heathrow Airport, like wondering, how did this happen? I'm sure Keegan Brown was feeling the same thing. Right? That's a long flight across the pond. Especially Watford across the pond. And so we're thinking, like, man, what can we do to cultivate, recruit, train the best American veteran active duty golfers so we can get to go back and get some payback? It was great. Josh was taking notes, that's what people do. They take notes, we writing these little Italian briefings, what am I doing when I get home? And, we get home, we part ways. I go back home to Pastor Georgia, and he called me. He called me midnight, and we're on the phone at 2, 3 a.m. Joe, what do you think, we model the organization act like this, or we do this, and Josh is doing a lot of research. Meanwhile, still serving active duty at the 82nd as a company commander. And, here we are. We had a national championship, right? Open to all the parents and the family members, active duty, be able to come and compete. So once that came, I was a little bummed because I was really excited. Man, I want to put on the black hat again. I was going to have my whistle. We're going to start training. We're going to have a little Ranger school. Smoke dudes. Ranger golfer, why are you here? I was hoping to pull these guys aside in the squad. Prepare copies. Let's give you the tee box, the correct tee box, Eddie. You will navigate up the course. Right? Enemy's most common course action and bunker placements. You will avoid all bunkers, all water situations. You will assault the green with the appropriate amount of rounds, ammo, or shots. And you will assault the flag. Man, to me, that's great. That's what you can be all right. And no, John's like, no, we got to be a little bit more kinder, a little more gentleman, because we want to have a league of our own. And that's the VGA was born. I was going to say, you remember about when Josh said, hey, we get a little more casual. I took off my shorts, I got a rain panties on, right? That's how I roll. But anyways, Josh, I love you. We've been at this for a very long time. In our travels, having to go meet hotels, casinos, for lodging, golf courses to try to secure at a very reasonable price point, for members. Those things are tough, folks. I mean, believe me. It is hard to try to get these things at a price point that's affordable for all of us, right? And Josh, kudos to you. Now, when we started, remember Josh had this house outside of Pinehurst, and he had a storage room, basically a water heater room in his house, and that was the VGA warehouse. He had everything stacked in there. And here we are now, right? I mean, Rachel was the shipping and receiving clerk, as well as Joan, But now we have a very, somewhat big storage unit there in Pinehurst, these tournaments and these national championships, and very, very proud to see that grow, you know, and again, these are these 2 a.m. conversations that Josh has with me. You know, normally after we're watching the Cowboys lose, you know, and he's trying. But you know, one of those phrases that when I was a young Ranger and I got to graduate, you know, was a killer man, right? And so you may remember this, and it's something that, you know, I'm not the putting man, you know, I'm the putting man's son. I'll be the putting for the putting man, you know. So, and you all remember that phrase, you know, I'm selling t-shirts at the end, you know. Now, this past year, May 9th, I had an Achilles tendon surgery on my one foot, and right before the Armed Forces Cup. And so during that time, I was in a wheelchair, and it was really neat, you know, watch the competitors play there in Augusta Champions Retreat. This time, Air Force One, you know, Howard Armed Forces Cup, yeah, that is another signature event that so many of you are aware of, so many of you work towards to compete in. Now, in one of the evenings there, I'm in the wheelchair. Those who were there, remember, I was in the wheelchair. We were getting ready to go out to dinner. You know, my wife had to go home, and she, you know, Josh said, "Oh, I got you, you know, I got 6." And everyone leaves. They all leave. They go to the Mexican restaurant. And I'm outside the parking lot. Everyone is gone. It's crickets, right? In a wheelchair. And I'm like, where is this guy? He's supposed to come with me. And I call Josh. And all I hear is, "Oh man, did I leave you?" No, I know that. And right then I said, "Man, my name is Urban Meyer. You can never be me." But anyways, you know, Josh, congratulations on everything that, you know, you've been able to accomplish, you know, this mission. Thank you for, you know, being my friend, for including me in this mission. To the players, congratulations on making this field. I know that it takes a lot of rounds and a lot of dedication for you and your families to get to this point. I hope the courts of Olympic Field suits your liking, and if not, just ask Andy and Josh. You know, I look forward to being able to put a red jacket on some of the champions here in 2 days. And good luck to all. And turn it back over to Josh and some chips and salsa for you.
I want to talk a little bit about Joe too. He tore his Achilles tendon in his good life, but he didn't tell you how he did that. So Joe was a walking scorer in the Augusta National Women's Am. Okay. And I think I want to go back to what General Ferrer was saying. Like some of you guys, 1%. There's 1% in this room that have this calling to do something special. And I told Joe, I was like, "Dude, Joe, what are you doing, man? You're a Ranger sniper. You're an infantry officer. You've done all these things. You don't need to prove anything to anyone." He said, "No, I want to prove it to myself that I can go, be a walking scorer at the Augusta National Women's Am, and I want to inspire these ladies, these young ladies that are going to be the next women professionals out on the tour, right? And that's my best friend. Then he's not thinking about himself in that moment. He's thinking about inspiring some young women that if they put their mind to something, they can do it. Now, so Joe goes out there, he's walking on Champions Retreat, he steps in a hole, and he tears his ACL and his Achilles that for someone else. You know, and that's why I love him to pieces, and I hope he's ready for the member guest in Orlando. Let's give Joe a round of applause. All right, any other questions before I let you go for the night? So we went to dinner last night. This is the first time, I think, in VGA history. I came back last night, it's 10:45, and I said, look, I'm going to go do a battlefield circulation of the casino. All right? Now, is Jerry Carey in here? Has anyone seen Jerry? He's a Canadian, he's a short Canadian dude that has a big Instagram following. Jerry, what's going on over there? All right. And then we got another advisory board member, Rick French. Rick, raise your hand. All right, listen to me when I tell you this. I went through the entire casino last night with my good friend Mike Elliott. And we're just like, look, we're going to see who's, acting out of sorts, who's doing kind of some crazy. I mean, who would think military people would do things out of sorts, right? I just kind of walked through the lobby, and there's only 2 people in this entire room that was in the casino, and that's Jerry Carey and Rick French. All right? I didn't see you. All right? Look, what that told me was, first and foremost, is that you guys care about this weekend, right? You're going to try to get a little bit of sleep, and you're going to try to go out there and do some damage on the golf course, right? So over the next couple of days, take this serious, right? Because when you look at that video that we played right before Coach Meyer came out to talk to you guys and said, you only have one, all right? And this is your moment to be great. So take advantage of it. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you first thing